Hi everyone, hope you're all having fun in Palm Beach. Wish I was with you. I had planned to come and attend the symposium, but as some of you may know, I recently got announced as an IndyCar driver for Schmidt-Peterson, which is pretty exciting, and the preseason testing approaching quickly made things very busy, so I couldn't make it, but I guess being busy regarding an IndyCar deal is a pretty good problem to have. So well, I was meant to do a Q&A with Johnny and Anders and you guys today. Those guys sent me the questions via email, and I'm going to go through them and give you my answers to all that. So and if any of you wants to get in touch with me directly after that to ask me some other questions, feel free to ask my contact details to Johnny or Anders, and I'll be very happy to answer you. So let's get started. At the end of 2009, I had 4 racing seasons in open wheel under my belt in Europe. Formula Campus, which is the equivalent of Skip Barber, Formula Renault and Formula Palmerodi, with some good results, but I had missed the opportunity to be taken in a driver development program like Red Bull or Mercedes or Ferrari and others, and I was just struggling getting up the ladder, and I had to move on. And first off, I was struggling with budget, but I was also wondering where all of this would lead me. You know, I could see all the guys getting to Formula One, being brought by Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, or having a lot of financial backing behind them, which was not my case. So I decided to try to open my mind, because when you race in Europe at this age, you don't know any better than F1, and I had seen since 1 or 2 years that the champions, the Star Mazda champions, which now is Pro Mazda, were moving up thanks to Mazda scholarships, and I decided to fly over to USA to do a test, and test went well, and managed to to talk to Anderson Racing for the season. I think it was kind of one of our last chance to make it, and I was like, well, it's a gamble, you know. We signed back then for the first 2/3 of the season, and if we could finish it and win it, I knew I would step up. So in the end, it was an easy decision. Managed to do the full season, and then went on to the rest. But yeah, my main reason was just the Mazda Road to Indy, and knowing that I knew where I was going. I had to win. It was simple. I had to get over to USA, win, and then I will move up. So that's why I came over. Well, it was an up and down season. Very good in terms of raw speed. Won 2 races, including my first one, and got good speed all season long. But lack of consistency. We got some DNFs on a few mechanical issues, you know, which is part of it. I did some mistakes as well. So the main thing I learned was that, you know, your blank scores like DNFs and bad weekends were having a lot of effect in the overall championship results, because winning 2 races and being consistently fast, I finished only 15 points, so that was a good lesson, I think. So that's the main point I learned this year. Well, yes, considering the speed, I could consider moving up to Indy Lights, but I had one of my big sponsors who had committed pull out during the winter, and I think that at that point my biggest concerns was actually not choosing to do Indy Lights or Pro Mazda. It was actually to know if I was going to be able to come back to US and keep racing. And honestly, with the budgets we have, it was not serious to really opt to have a serious program in Indy Lights. So I think at the start of January I took the decision to come back to Pro Mazda. I was still on a short budget for Pro Mazda, and I was not sure I was going to be able to sign, and finally lately managed to find a budget that would allow me at least to get a full year deal, and then try to find more money to get the right amount of tires and new engines to have a really to have a program that will really allow me to fight for the championship. So yeah, I think the biggest concern back then was to make sure I was going to keep racing, to be honest. It was pretty easy. I you know, we had make a big financial effort. We were still on a very tight budget, and my mindset was very simple. It's your last shot. It's either you win it, you win that prize and move on, or or you go back to France and go back to a normal life. So I think it made things very simple in my head. I know that, you know, there was excuses would not work, because I mean, I had, even if we were on a, you know, we were on a small budget and everything, I just had to win no matter the circumstances. Even if we had little testing and everything, it was simple. I could only win. It was the only winning was the only option. So so that was my mindset. I tried to take it one race at a time, always keep in my mind the big picture. JDC Motorsports was very good at this, you know, really teach me that even if we were having a bad weekend and we lose the championship lead, there was other weekends coming to recover from that. So yeah, mindset was very simple. Just go and win it. So. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's pretty simple to see that it was the key. My biggest rival was Connor De Filippi. That year we both got 4 wins. I think similar amount of podium finishes. But the biggest difference is that when I got bad weekends, I scored big points. I finished every race in the top 5 at 0 DNF, and in the end, that's what made the big difference in the count at the end of the year. So pretty easy to see that that this was the key. But once again, we also needed the speed, because if we had only 2 wins against 4 for him, or, you know, like, not enough speed, we would not have made it. So yes, consistency, but the speed is always a big factor. If not, you cannot win a championship if you don't have the speed. Yes, it was a quick decision to go to join Sam Schmidt Motorsports. I did a test with Andretti at the end of the year, which went really well and allowed me to have good dispositions to discuss with teams. And just looking at the history of Firestone Indy Lights, I knew that if I had a good offer from Sam, it was a no-brainer, because I knew I would have the right team behind me. So as soon as Sam gave me an offer, which was a very good offer for my future, I did not hesitate too long. So yeah, it was a quick decision. I was feeling very lucky as a Mazda Speed Scholarship driver. I knew that it was important to be fast straight away, you know, in Indy Lights. So my expectations through winter testing were, you know, just to get up to speed. I didn't have such an easy winter testing. It was actually a bit of a struggle for me to get comfortable in the Schmidt car, which was actually different from the Andretti car in terms of behavior on track, and things to do were not as natural for me at first. So I have to say I had a lot to modify with my driving and a lot to learn. So my main concern was just to improve and try to be right there for the first race. And I just didn't really panic too much or focus on what the results were going to be and all that. So yeah, just try to work really with the engineer and make the most of the winter testing. I was not really used to have any winter testing, so I just really focused on taking advantage of that for that season. So. It's tough to say, you know, but I think just have a great engineer in Christopher Finch, and just focus on what I had to do to be fast and not put any pressure on myself with the results. I remember in St. Pete, I had a very tough last practice before qualifying. I think I was 8th, And I went into qualifying just remembering what we had talked about with my engineer after in the last debrief, and I remember my radio was not working great, and throughout qualifying I never really knew what my position was, or how far I would be from pole, or how far in front I was, and I just focused on driving and getting faster every lap. And then I crossed the line and I heard pole. So I think that, you know, the fact of trying to put the result and this kind of pressure away really helped me to focus on what I had to do. I also tried to forget who my rivals were. You know, I was a rookie and racing against guys like Guerrieri or Saavedra, who were coming from a very experienced background. It can be impressive sometimes, and you can put yourself in a difficult position just by yourself. I tried to put the names away and just realize that there's no magic, and that the car has its physical limits, and if you work well, have the ability and do your job perfectly, there's no reasons for you to be behind or to be slower. So I just really tried to focus on what I had to do and put all the other circumstances away, and I think that was a key factor in getting up to speed very quickly. Well, it's simple. First off, I would not have come to USA without the Mazda Road to Indy scholarship program. Second off, it's I think the good part is that it's a program that rewards your accomplishments and does not reward you for who you are. You know, so it's just you win, you get into the program. There's no politics. They won't take the guy who finished second because his nationality was an advantage or anything like that. So it makes everything simple in your mind. You gotta win, you get on the scholarship program. You don't win, you're not on it. So that makes things very simple, and I think it's very fair. So that's one of the big aspects of it. Another thing is that, yeah, it's been very important to me. I would just simply not be in IndyCar today without the program. I've never been able, due to where I come from, and you know the partnerships I was able to raise. I've never been able to raise more than, you know, what represents a small pro Mazda budget or something like that. So I could have never afforded an Indy Light season, and I could have, you know, maybe never gotten to IndyCar without the $1 million scholarship. So it's really made things happen for me. And I think it's very important, this program is very important to US racing, because there's a clear path, a clear ladder, which is not the case in Europe. And as I said, it's a very fair system and it rewards winners. So it's just an incredible program, and I hope it keeps going on for a long time, because it really can make it happen for younger drivers who might have the talent and the speed but are underfunded. So great program. Well, first off, I think always remember that the big objective might be to become an IndyCar driver or Le Mans driver or whatever it is for you, but focus on the present. Don't think too far. Just put this big objective in a corner of your mind, and focus on the present moment and what you have to do as of now. If you're on the grid of a USF2000 race, think that what you gotta do now is win that race or finish fourth, if that's all you can get, and then win that championship, and then win Pro Mazda and win Indy Lights before you can have a chance to get to IndyCar. So just think about what you have to do now to make it happen, because thinking too far can make you lose focus on what's happening right now. So I think that's my first piece of advice. After that, I think it's very important for a driver to realize how lucky we are of the opportunities we have, whether it's driving a USF2000, a Skip Barber car, or an IndyCar. Many kids our age wish they could do it, and some kids are dealing with other struggles than understeer or having been run into by another driver, you know. And I think it's always important to keep that in mind, and it's important for yourself, but also for the people around you, people who work for you. Look at your mechanic. I'm sure every mechanic wishes they could have the chance to drive the car we drive just for one day, and you know, for some of them they just can't. So when you get out of the car, be careful to how you behave. If you get out the car and just yell that the car is understeering like a pig, you know, understand that it can be frustrating to people. And if you just say, well, look, I'm struggling, car is understeering, it's not normal. It can really change the way people will treat you and the way people will want to work at solving this problem with you. So always remember that for them, but also for yourself, because realizing the luck you have will make you enjoy what you're doing. And when you enjoy, you're always better. We all know when you enjoy a car, enjoy a track, you're always faster than in other circumstances. So always enjoy the present moment. After that, I think my last piece of advice is just never give up until it's over. Always give everything you have, and just fight as hard as you can. I think if you look today, when you're at the track or in general life, most of the people who are bitter or unhappy in their life are people who live with regrets. And when we have an opportunity like this, you know, you really want to make sure you gave it a full shot before you give up, because then it's the best way to live with regrets and be unhappy. So those are my three main things for this last question. If you have any other questions you would like to ask me directly, don't hesitate to ask Johnny or Anders my contact information. You can either send me an email or give me a call, and I'll be very happy to answer you. And hopefully I meet you guys at the track soon, and you all have a great season, a great time in Palm Beach, and see you soon. Bye.